La la la, hey, yeah, yeah.
There's the book, Man's Shoes, The Journey to Becoming a Better Man, Husband, and Father. And it is one of the most inspirational stories I have ever read. And we're so pleased to have the author with us here today. Tom Watson joins us. Tom, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. We've been having great conversations so far. I wish we had an hour to sit down and talk to you. But I want to take people back to your early childhood and explain what happened to you early on.
Well, early on in my life, I went through a lot of instability. I went through 13 foster homes. And 13 foster homes by the time I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of bouncing around. And you know how children need that safe environment to really grow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I didn't have that. And a lot of abuse happened in that period of time. And the foster system, although it's a needed system, it's got flaws in it. And I really value the social workers who do the work. I just think they're overloaded, and the system is just populated with so many kids. Thousands of kids in Canada every year go into the foster system, so it's a tough system.
Yeah, and since I've received your book, talking to a lot of people about the book in and around the office and just in my social circles and explaining some of the abuse you went through, and just to let everybody know, this was very serious abuse, but it almost was fate that you did find a family to eventually adopt you full-time, the Watson family. Tell us why that was such great fate and the circumstances around it.
Well, I was abused so badly. I was held upside down in water. I was beaten badly. Just whatever you could imagine happened to me. And when I got when I showed up on the Watsons' doorstep, and this elderly couple took me in, and they were in their late 50s, both retired. And when they came into my life, it was just fate. And they moved to a farm. I was such a wild child. Literally, I can't tell you how badly I was abused and how much I just acted out. I was not able to be normal. And I needed the help of these two elderly people to actually make this work, and this farm. And working alongside of these two elderly people, coming home to them every day, having them mentor me every day, and being able to work on the farm with Mr. Watson side by side, work out all that anger, work out all that energy. I was ADD. I had every acronym you could throw at a guy, right? And so just having all that, it was just perfect timing, just a perfect mesh of what I needed and what they could give. And why they did it? At 60, how many of us are taking in 5-year-olds?
Oh, absolutely.
And 5-year-olds that are in big trouble.
Yeah.
So.
One of the lessons they taught you were, my choice plus my actions equals my life. And you've continued to live by that theme throughout your entire life, haven't you?
I was in such bad trouble that the principal had my name posted onto a chair in his office, because I was never in my regular room. I was in the principal's office. And when that happened, when that formula came into my life, I had chopped the hair off of a little girl's ponytail in front of me in class. And I was down to the office, and there was a meeting, and on the way home, Mr. Watson talked to me about two things. One was this formula, my choice plus my actions equals my life. And he also talked to me about hanging out with turkeys or flying with eagles.
Right.
And if I continue to hang out with the rotten gang, which is what we were dubbed in school, I was going to be a turkey. And if I wanted to go somewhere in my life, I needed to start making better choices, choose better people to hang out with, act on that, and then my life would get better. And those are the two things that I'm going to be 50 this summer, and I'm still learning those things.
Yeah.
But I've implemented them all these years, and by doing that, surely to goodness, I've improved.
Yeah, in reading the book, coming from where you were, and then you get to a point where things are going well for you. You found the woman of your dreams, and you have 2 beautiful sons, and then all of a sudden, Darlene, your first wife, is taken from you with leukemia. just try to describe to us from where you were, and you have everything's going perfect, and you're this great father, and then all of a sudden this happens to you. You must have thought, why is somebody out to get me?
Yeah, and everything inside of you becomes turmoil. Darlene was a beautiful woman. We had a fantastic. I had a fantastic chase to catch this woman.
Yeah.
She was engaged to be married, and I tracked her down, and I loved her from the day I saw her. So we had this fairy tale kind of romance, and then to have her taken, and we fought so hard in those last 6 months to try to save her, and to have her taken, I just became so depressed, and I actually wanted to take my life, and I actually planned to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And had it not been for some fate, if you believe in a God, God intervening through the actions of my son, telling me, "Daddy, don't die and go to heaven," I had planned to kill myself 2 days later. And so with that in mind, when Brad said that, my little Bradley, 4-year-old, looked at Daddy with tears streaming out of it. We'd watched a movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and at the end of the movie, Charlie, the dog, dies and goes to heaven. And Bradley turned to me and said, "Daddy, please don't die and go to heaven." And that snapped me out of that. And that was, again, I think people who get into depression, I know for me, normal, rational people can get into depression,
Mm-hmm.
and I think many people don't realize that.
Yeah.
You can have a child and have postpartum. You can have, bad things happen. Your daughter dies, your son dies, your husband dies, or whatever it doesn't have to be death. It could be work or whatever. We need to talk more about depression.
Agreed, 100%.
So for me, it was that moment and a 47-day McDonald's road trip that saved my life.
Yeah, and I can't tell you enough, Tom, how, just this book really will change people's lives reading it. And as you say in the book, there's always a chance for a rebirth for everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
You can get the book on Amazon.com.
Excellent.
And Amazon.ca.
Next time you're in town, come by and visit us
I
again.
will. Thank
You
you
can
very
visit his website, manshoes.net, as well, to find out more information. Don't go away. We'll be back